and welcome back to another tutorial on advanced charts. This is Trisha Japtiani and today I am going to take you through the GAD chart. GAD chart is an instrument that is used to measure the level of content of something. Just like in the car, you have a fuel gauge, which shows the level of fuel in the vehicle. Similar to the GAD chart in the vehicle, GAD chart has a needle which displays the value of a particular data, and like speedometer, the needle moves when the data changes. A GAD chart, unfortunately, is not part of the inbuilt charts in Excel and need to be created by combining donut chart and the pie chart. Both these charts are covered in the previous tutorials on advanced charts. So, Get Charts is your ultimate KPI dashboard tool, which is used to show the performance of your product, sales, employees, or any other information. So let's look at our example sheet and see how a Get chart can be created. To give you a small hint of what is a Get chart, this is how the Get chart is created. On the left hand side, you can see that there is a table where I have the student's name with the drop down menu with that, and their score is mentioned in the next cell. Now, simple VLOOKUP is being done in the next cell, wherein as soon as I pick up the name of the student, it automatically highlights its score. And you would also notice as soon as I change the student name or pick up the new student name, the speedometer also keeps changing accordingly. This is how your Get chart really works. Now, let me show you how is this being created. It's a very simple one that I have created, but you can actually make it more visually appealing by doing more formatting to it. So let's first understand how a simple Get chart needs to be created by using the donut and your pie chart. I'm going to go to my sheet where I have the names of the students and the scores given to me. I need to create a Get chart in such a way that as and when the student name changes, it should automatically highlight the name, the score in the Get chart. What I'm going to do is, just like I already have this, I have created the student name and the score which I showed you earlier. I'm going to cut and keep this Get chart in some other sheet so that this is not visible to me. What is the next thing that I need to do is, I need to create two different tables. Now, these two different tables I have already created. I'll give you a hint of how you can create these tables. The table that I have created is, it says that if a student is failed, then, or rather, a student if he's scoring 30 or less marks, then he is failed. If the student is scored more than 30 but less than, say, 50 marks, so that means anybody who scored 50 or more than 30 but less than 50 is actually pass. But then there is more score as well. If somebody has scored more than 50 but more than 50 but less than 70, so then less than 71 rather. So if it is between 50 to 70, then that person has scored distinction. You can do it with any number of or rows that you have or any number of criteria that you have. And anybody who's more than 70 to 100 is going to be distinct, is going to be first class. I'm just going to take this as 100. Now, in the Get chart, I need to first create a table which will display this information correctly. Now, when I say display this information, I need to understand that even if the person is going to fail if he's 30 or less, the number is going to remain 30 because 30 is this percentage. I'll take this as percentage. So anything that is 30 or less than 30% is going to be a fail. Anything between 30 to 50. Now I want to understand what is the difference between 30 and 50. It is 20. So I'm going to put here as 20, which is going to be my helper column. After that, what is the difference between 50 and 70? Again, it is 20, so I'm going to pick up 20. Now, what is the difference between 70 and 100? It is 30. So I'm going to take the 30. So I need to identify first the difference between each of the data. Once I have done that, I can list it down. Now, one more thing that I need to do after I have identified this count should run into 100. It cannot be more than 100. Now, after doing that, I need to add one more uh, row which will have the lowest value, which we will consider as the lowest value. And then we will have the second column or the second row, which will consider the highest value. So what does this truth means? This means that if it is lower than 30, what should be the value? That means it could be maybe a 0 you can take as the lowest value, and highest value that you can pick up will be 100. This can be one of the things that you can do, or you can also pick up a lowest value that you feel you want to show in your data or in your chart. So now the total that you look at is going to be 200. So this 100 that we have, and the another 100 is the total of these two. So this is one table that I have created in order to create my donut chart. So with this data, I'm going to create a donut chart. So let me write it down on the top so that it becomes easier for you all to understand. So I call it a donut chart, or data for donut chart. Now that I have this data, I have to create another data for the pie chart. Now pie chart is going to be used to create a pointer. The pointer or the needle that keeps moving in the speedometer. For that, I will use the pie chart. Now, how will I create a pie chart? I need to give three things in the pie chart. One is the score, which is my main criteria for the speedometer to move. So one is a score. Second is going to be what is my pointer size. So when I say a pointer size, it will be thinner or thicker depending on that amount I'll have to give there. And the third thing that I have to give is the no fill option, which is in the pie chart, I will have to give one column which is not going to be a fill. So I will show you how does that work. So let me say the pointer is going to be, let's say 4 this time. You can increase the size when you see the size of that pointer. If you decide, or if you want to, you can decrease it also. Score is going to be linked to this. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to hide this so that it doesn't confuse us. So score, what I'm going to do with the score is, I'm just going to put any score for now, just in case. And in the last one that we have here, the no fill, we will do a simple calculation there saying is equal to 200, because this is a total of 200. So I'm saying 200 minus the sum of these two. Once I close the bracket, enter, I get 146. Now I need to start creating my charts. So what I'll do is I'll first create my pie chart and create that needle that we want. So I'll go on to the pie chart database, go to insert, create my pie chart. It depends on you. If you want to create your donut chart first, that is also fine. There's no hard and fast rule to that. So once I have created my pie chart, you can see that there are three different uh, parts that has been created. What I right now need to do is the first and the second part that I have, I need to say that I don't want any fill so that it is hidden. So what I'll do is I'll first select the biggest part, which is my yellow one. But let me do one thing before that. You can see that my pointer, now this small part is going to be my pointer. Let me make this pointer move a little up. So I'm going to show this, let's say 270 degree. So now my pointer is showing in the middle, exactly in the middle. I can go and create this and say, go to format and remove the shape fill, saying I don't want any shape fill. So I'll say no fill. So what is it happening now? It is hidden. I'll select the second one also and say no fill. Once I have done this, you can see that my pointer has been created. Now whatever I do to this pointer is, according to the number that gets added here, the pointer will automatically move. So I just need to be very sure about what pointer I'm adding here so that it looks nice accordingly. I can also make sure that when it is 0, it stays in the left hand side. So when it is a 0, it is exactly on the left. It's sleeping down there. Yeah, so it has to move 360, sorry, 180 degree like this. So if it is 0, it is going to be like this. 100, it has to go to here. So if it is it going to here? Yes, it is. So then this looks a little better, but it is going a little down. So what I'll want to do is I'm going to make this angle of the slicer a little small so that it moves exactly in the middle. Yeah, so it looks much better now. So it's going to be in a straight line. Okay. Now if I put 100, it looks fine. If I say 0, it's exactly moving in the 180-degree angle. Depending on how you feel it, you can also make a little more change if you want to, for it to show even more down. That's all fine. But just make sure that it moves in the 180-degree angle. So now that I have created my pointer, now I'm going to go ahead and create my donut chart. Now, how will I create a donut chart? I already have a data here. Select the data, go on to the insert, click on the donut chart and create the donut chart. Now, what has happened in this case? There is a double donut chart that has been created because I already have a data which is for criteria, and then I have created a helper column. So what I'll do is I'll select the inner circle, which is the only the inner circle which I have, or and just click on delete. Either ways, if you're not able to do that, you can always go on to the chart, go on to chart design, and under the chart design, you will see the select data. From the select data, you have on the left hand side legend entries. You can see donut chart criteria and donut chart help. You can always remove the donut chart criteria by clicking on donut chart criteria, click on remove, and that is gone. Once you click on OK, you can see that only one donut chart or one part of the donut chart is left now. Now, again, going back to just like this, similar to our pie chart, what we did, I'm going to go back to the format data series, and under format data series, I'm going to change the angle to saying 270-degree again so that it shows exactly to me in the same line as it is that one. Maybe a little tilted to the right because it doesn't look exactly in the middle. So now it looks much better. It has to be closer to 270 so that it looks in the same line. So it shows in 180-degree. Now, one more thing that I can do with this one is just to make it look better, I can go back to the data series and decrease the size of the hole in the middle. Once I've done this, so it looks the chart or the color looks a little bigger. Select the bigger part of the option, which is the 100% or 100 that we had selected. Select that, go on to format and remove the shape fill. Now what happens is you can see that exactly it is coming in 180-degree with the data gone from the bottom. So it doesn't look like anymore your uh, donut chart. It looks like a half or a crescent moon shape. Now exactly we have got what we wanted. Now I'm going to add these data labels onto this so that the data label comes with this. So when I add the data labels, what I need to do is onto data labels, add data labels. However, it is showing the numbers. What I want is I just want these legends to come in the donut. So I'm just going to say category name and remove the values so that the values are gone away. Once I've done this, I will remove the highest. I'll select it by clicking on it twice. Select the lowest also and click on it twice. Delete that. Once I've done this, you can see that it looks a little smaller. So I'm going to make it a little bigger so that it is properly visible. Remove the legends from the bottom. Now it shows me fail, pass, distinction, and first class. Now what I need to do is make it a little more bigger. Okay. Now what I need to do? I need to get that pointer on this chart. How do I get that pointer is a question. Yeah. So what I'll do is in order to get that pointer, I'm going to first go ahead and select my pie chart that I had created with the pointer. Right click on that and there is an option to say bring to front. I can click on that and my new chart is now in the front. But what has happened because of this is that I cannot see the chart behind now. but I want both the chart to be visible. So what do I do in that case is, I'll have to select the chart, the pie chart again, and click on the fill option from the format chart area. If you don't have that format chart area window open, you can right click on that and then say format chart area. In the window open, you can go to fill and say no fill. Once you do that, you can see that now your pie chart area has become transparent. Now you can place it over your donut chart in such a way so that it is properly visible. I'll have to do a little bit of formatting here so that it is properly visible to with the needle as well, and we don't miss that at all. So little bit of formatting once you do, you should be able to see your needle properly on the exact place where you want it. Make it a little smaller. Okay. Now because it is 100%, it is going exactly down there on the right. And now I have this properly available and not missing out any here. I need to make a little more as no fill so that the borders are not visible here. Okay. So now we have the get chart ready with us. I will need to remove the chart title for my one of the chart titles. I'll have to remove and keep the other one ready. So now I can create my get chart the way I want it. Remove the borders from this as well. Otherwise, it looks like two different charts, which we don't want it to give that. We want to create an illusion that it is a one chart. Now, we have created a get chart. I can now select the score of the students in the list that I have on the left. But there is a problem. Even if I select the name of the student, it doesn't change here. Why do you think that is happening? Because as of now, you can see that I have just put some numbers here and I'm letting the this data decide where the chart has to move. So what is happening is because of that, until and unless I don't link it to this cell, I cannot get the pointer to move properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do equal to and then the cell where I want to link it to. Now it will show me exactly where I want it to be linked. One more thing that I can do, but here when you see that when I change the name for the student, I can see the pointer moving. But the problem with the pointer is right now I'm not able to see the names which is there on the donut chart or the category name that I had mentioned as a data label. What I'll do is I'll move the chart a little down, my pie chart, and select my data label, do a little bit of formatting, and move the data labels a little up. But while I'm moving the data labels up, I'll have to be sure that it doesn't show that legend or the line which is shown. So we will make that change also. Let's see how that can be done. We can move it just in that. So I'm just doing some formatting for it to look nice. A little bit more tilted and it should be fine. Going back, I'll have to remove the leader line. Same, I'll do a little on this as well. The others can remain the same. Little tilted should be fine. I don't want it to be too much tilted. Just make it a little bigger so it is visible in one line. Maybe you might have to make the chart a little bigger so it is visible. So yes, so I'm going to move this out so it is visible here. This also I'll have to do the same thing. So once I have done this, I should be able to get the get chart that I wanted in the way I wanted. So you can do more things by adding a small circle in the middle using the shape to show your get chart just like exactly, or just like a speedometer which has a small button in the middle kind of thing. Move back my, it's always a good idea to actually keep 100 here so that you're able to angle it properly. So now that I have angled it properly, I can move ahead and do the rest of the things. Now if I, because I have linked it, not yet linked it, okay. So I'm going to link it to my cell. Now it is showing me correctly. You can see how the donut chart is now moving. The speedometer is now moving, and it also shows me properly where it needs to be at. So this is how we can actually get your get chart to move with the data. One more thing that if you have noticed, you can see that on your get chart, your line or your speedometer is the same color as the past color. So you can change that color also by selecting your needle and selecting which shape fill do you want. So maybe you can do a small shape fill, which is black color shape fill, so it is more visible. So I'll do a black color, so it becomes simpler to now read it. Let's look at a data which is even smaller. So is it going there? It is. Yeah. So it within 30, so it is going to be fail. So anybody who's going to do this, you can do it with your even the your employee survey that you're trying to do, or an employee productivity that you want to check can be done with a Gantt chart. If you're creating any KPIs, this could be a very good pointer to actually show your data, how it moves when you change your information there. So hope you found this useful, and keep watching for more of such charts, advanced charts that we are going to do further. Thank you.